Hello, everyone's Forest Focus. Nottingham Forest Women are almost at the halfway stage of their season as they chase promotion. Joining me to discuss how it's going and reflect on their own first campaign with the Reds is a two-time WSL winner and the league's record appearance maker in Kate Longhurst. Kate, good to have you with us. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Is that right? You're still the record appearance holder for the WSL?
No, I'm not actually. I think there's probably a few people now that have gone ahead of me. So, no. As you get older, I think more people are going to catch up. So I'll probably slip right off that soon.
Good achievement, though. You must be proud of it.
Yeah. I mean, to play quite a few games, stay fit. That's always a bonus. So, yeah, no, it's something I was proud of.
You're here now, your first season at Forest. How are you finding it so far after moving back up north? Because you had a spell at Liverpool for a good while. How are you finding it back out of London?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really like Nottingham as a place. The people have made me feel really welcome. I mean, obviously, I'm socialising more with my teammates than other people, but no, I'm really enjoying it. It's been quite an easy transition. I feel like I've slotted straight in, and yeah, I suppose I've been here 3-4 months now, so I'm kind of just kicking on and getting on with it.
What about the football club as a whole then? Obviously, at present, we're in the third tier. Does it feel like a third tier club, or have you been surprised by the kind of infrastructure and the way it's all set up?
Yeah, it's very professional. I think when you look at probably the clubs that we're playing against, you can see the kind of facilities that we've got and the access that we've got to everything being professional and full time is probably quite far ahead of a lot of teams in the league. But we're certainly in comparison with certainly teams in the Championship, even WSL, I would say there's certain aspects of the club that we're sort of pushing towards. And no, it's been really good since I've been here.
I guess, like you say, everything's set up so well here. You're sort of like the big fish in the smaller pond, which brings pressures as well. I mean, I'll bring the league table up so people can see it, how you're faring so far this season. So in the third tier, you're second, but you've got a game in hand on Wolves. I watched one game. I think I watched the Starbridge game, and I thought, like, this team's never going to lose a game. And you had a big win against Wolves, but you can see, it's not all been plain sailing. You've got a proper rival in Wolves this season. Are you enjoying that battle? Or do you feel like, I wish we'd won those other two games and it could have been even better?
I think obviously, of course, we'd want to win every game that we play in. But I think if we start focusing on what other teams are doing, then it's going to take our concentration off of what we're trying to do. We haven't lost the game yet, thankfully. Hopefully, we can keep that going. But we want to win. We're not here to draw. We're not here to lose. We want to keep winning games. But I think for us, we can only focus on what we're trying to achieve. Everyone else has got to play everyone else. At some point, teams are going to have to drop points against each other. And it's whoever's the most consistent by the end of the season. So, yeah, at the moment, we're in second with a game in hand. But that's then in our destiny. We've got to play every single team. So, yeah, I think as long as it's in our hands, then we're feeling pretty comfortable and relaxed because we know what standards that we have and what we can achieve here.
Yeah, I guess it brings pressure, chasing promotion. Is that something you like as a group? Because you've got quite a lot of experience, so I suppose it would be something you embrace, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I came here. I'm not here to just sort of make up numbers in the league. If you're playing for something, yes, pressure comes, but that's the whole point of playing. You want to be winning things. I think promotion for us has to be our focus. When you look at what the club's doing now, what it's pumping into the women's side, I think our only real success is getting promotion. Yes, that brings pressure. Yes, that kind of puts a target on our back, but we're happy to take that. And I think as long as we keep improving and we keep stepping up every single game, even when we haven't played well, we've managed to win games or at least draw. So I think that pressure is a good pressure to have because it means that we're fighting for something.
How do you view your own role in the squad then? Like you say, you come here with so much experience, like players like yourself, Mel Johnson. Do you see yourself as a big leader in the dressing room, or is that not something that you've particularly done at other clubs? How do you view your own role?
I don't think I've been any different to any other team I've been at. I think I've always try to lead, not in a, in a forced effort way, but that's just, I think, a part of my game. Yeah, I have a lot of experience, but so do a lot of other players, so we can all bounce off of each other. And also the young ones, they can still lead as well, and they can still bring a lot in terms of what they're offering. So I think we have a really good balance within the team. I think we have a lot of players that when things are not going well, or we might need a little bit of help, we've got quite a few people that can kind of bring that to this team. So if I can help play a small part in that as well, then of course I'll try and help where I can. And if people need advice, or maybe an arm around them, or I've been in a lot of situations within football personally and as a teammate, and knowing what things can happen within football. So I think I can bring a little bit of realism, and also sort of maybe more a steadiness that, football, sometimes things go really well, sometimes things don't go well, things can go bad for a player, even if the team's doing well. So it's sort of bringing those experiences, I think, to try and help the players.
It's been an interesting week as well, because the manager signed a new deal. I'm sure you're very happy for it. Does it bring that kind of stability as well that you probably need in a football club, to know that the manager's so well thought of and being rewarded at this stage of the season?
Yeah, definitely. She's so well respected from the players. I think the staff around the place, she's clearly doing a very good job, and she has a clear focus of what she wants to achieve as well while she's here, and she's doing that at the moment. I think bringing that stability, not only for her but for the rest of us as well, I think that's showing that the club want to move in the right direction with, in my opinion, the right person in charge. In terms of what she sets standards every single day for us to follow. We're all, pulling in the same direction. She's brought a real togetherness within the team. And like I said before about standards, she's driving them every single day. So I think that's only a positive for the club, for herself, for us as players. It's certainly something that's well rewarded for her, but fully deserved, I think.
Was it Carly who sold the club to you, out of curiosity, or was it like Amber or something? How did the move come about?
Yeah, no, I spoke to Carly. For me, it was a huge decision to drop to tier 3. I ideally didn't want to play in tier 3, but I think her vision for the club was something that excited me. She kind of said how it was, but she said what she wanted to achieve, how she wanted to play, how players get treated, things like that. She really sold the club to me, and it was certainly an ambitious club, and it was all a little bit last minute as well, I think, with the club announcing that they were turning full-time as well. So I wasn't sure how that was going to work in terms of some part-time players and some full-time. I mean, we're pretty much full-time now. So yeah, it was certainly an interesting prospect, but she definitely sold the club to me.
So did you make the move with it being a view like, okay, I'll spend touchwood 1 season in the 13, I'll be back in the Championship? Or I suppose I'm asking, you're at the stage of your career where you're probably more of a veteran. Are you thinking this might be my last year, I'll review it year by year and take it one step at a time?
Yeah, I mean, you won't be the first person to ask me that, and probably as soon as you turn 30, everyone asks you that every day. But no, for me, I take everything year by year, to be perfectly honest, at this point. I enjoy playing football. It's what I love doing. I think as long as my legs will go where my head wants them to, then I just enjoy playing. And as soon as that moment happens, and hopefully it doesn't happen this season, but yeah, for me, I'm open to whatever happens. But for me, my focus is getting out of this league, not just for me, not just for the club, but for the players that I'm playing with week in, week out. Some of the girls are so talented and deserve to be playing at a higher level, and it's not always that easy to kind of make that step up. But I really think that we have a talented bunch here, and a lot of people that have put in the hard graft and worked their way through the leagues to try and get in this position. So I think they really deserve it. So as much as anything, I want to do it for them as well as myself to try and help the club get up.
It's part of it as well, playing for as long as you can because of the evolution of the women's game. Like when I was reading up on you, I saw you played in the 2012 FA Cup final, and I think the crowd was about 8,000. And if you played in the FA Cup final now, I don't know, it's going to be like way bigger than that, obviously. So are you determined to keep going to kind of get as much of the evolution of the women's game, enjoy it as much as you can from a playing point of view?
Yeah, I mean, I've been part of a big process of how women's football's changed over the years. Certainly, if I look now, the facilities that we get here are better than when I was first in the WSL. So, standards are improving all the time. But I think for me, the enjoyment has to be there as well. It's not so much what I can get out of football. It's also what I can give back, but I want to be enjoying it while I'm doing it. It is a short career, and I think I've been pretty lucky with injuries and things like that. So to play for as long as possible, and as long as I want to do it, then that's the thing. But I know that it'll either be I finish my career this season or next season, but I think Nottingham Forest will be my last club. So I can't imagine trying to move again. So for me, the aim is to get promoted this season, and then I guess we see for next season what happens.
Have you thought about management, or what comes next, or not?
I haven't closed the door on it. I have my B license at the moment, but I got that a long time ago, and coaching probably isn't something that I want to go into, as much as people keep trying to direct me that route sometimes. I don't know. I used to do it as a full-time job and do an academy, which I love doing, but I didn't have the same passion for it that I have for playing. And I think for you to be a coach, you really have to be invested. It takes up a lot of your time. It's unsociable hours. It's working weekends all the time again. And, it's probably twice as hard as being a football player. So I don't know. It's something I haven't closed the door to, but it's something I have to think about. But at this moment in time, if you were to ask me, I'd say, no, that's not the direction that I want to go in right now.
We'll get back talking about the team and the upcoming game shortly. Just before that, a quick word for Trent Navigation and the offer they've got around the Man City game, which is coming up next month. I've got to turn the volume down on that video. Sorry if you're listening on headphones. It was so loud. Man City, 4th of December, happy hour on beers and £8.50 pizzas during the match. People who come on here, if there's ever an advert that mentions pizza and you're a guest, I always ask, what is your favourite pizza? Including some of your teammates and your manager have answered that question. So what is your favourite pizza, Kate Longhurst?
Bit controversial. Chicken and pineapple.
No.
I love pineapple on a pizza.
With chicken?
Yeah.
Is this a lot? How did this come about? How did this come about? It's not. It's never on a menu. So did you do it on the Domino's menu and change the toppings?
Okay. No, in fairness, like if I was to go out, then I probably couldn't get a chicken and pineapple pizza. But if ever I was to order one, I like chicken and I like pineapple on pizza, and it just went nicely. So yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a free country, and I like that answer. Yeah. Next game is Stoke at home at the City Ground on Sunday. Everyone who comes on, talks about the City Ground, the atmosphere. The crowds are getting bigger and bigger. I think it was, over 1,000 when I went earlier in the season. How are you finding playing at the City Ground?
I love it. The surface, unbelievable to play on. The crowd, the atmosphere has been really good. The first time I walked out and heard people singing, and I was like, oh, actually, this is giving me a bit of goosebumps. It's a great stadium to play at, very traditional old stadium as well. Even though they've obviously revamped it a lot and stuff, but I think it's an iconic stadium to play in. So yeah, I'm loving playing there, especially when some of the pitches that we've had to play on recently are not quite at the same level. So it'd be nice to get back onto that surface, and it's really good that we're starting to get some really good crowds.
Are those pitches, at the other places, is that thing like, oh, it's a real leveler, like you say in the FA Cup, that kind of thing? Is that a real thing then? It does make a big difference.
Yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful in terms of, they're the pitches that we have to play on. But the money that Nottingham Forest probably spend on keeping their pitch pristine is very different to some of the surfaces that we play on. So yeah, you can't necessarily always play the football that you want to play, and pretty football and playing it along the floor and all of that. When we play other teams, sometimes it is direct because there's not really a lot else you can do with it. So we're still trying to play on those pitches and trying to find a way of winning, and it's not always that easy, but yeah, so far we've come through okay.
You have really like contrasting games within your league. Like obviously I watched loads of the men's team in the Premier League, and each game's really tight, and it's 1-0, 2-1. Some of your games are like that. Some of your games you're winning 2-0, 3-0. Some of your games you're winning like 8-0, like the one I saw. What's it like as a player being involved in those games where you are winning really comfortably? Is it hard to maintain, I don't know what the word is, professionalism or ruthlessness or what?
Yeah, I mean, for me, they're not the games that we want to be playing in, which is why we want to get out of this league. And I mean that in no disrespectful terms, but it is hard for oppositions, I think, to come to the City Ground as well, where we can really use the expansive pitch, and we have some good quality players. But I think for us, like, we want to be playing the tougher games, and we want to, I prefer the games that are a bit tighter and a bit tougher, because you feel like you've really earned the games. But it's important for us to kind of be ruthless as we can when we play in teams, because this league could throw up anything and we could have to win on goal difference or something. So it's about us not taking our foot off the gas. I think when the opportunity arises and that we have to try and, win by big scores, that's just what we have to do. And, but we're still trying to do it in the right way, and we're still trying to kind of play the way that Carly wants us to play. That's a big thing, because, we've come in before at 3-0 at halftime or whatever, and things aren't good enough. And, because we're not doing what they want us to do. So I think there's also like that pressure as well on us, but then it's on us to kind of try and follow the game plan and be as ruthless as we can.
Yeah, and I guess it's pressure on your place as well. Like I see, like some of the players that are on your bench are some of the big name signings some games. So I guess internally you can't drop your standards no matter what the result is.
No, exactly. We have a really competitive squad. I think people are doing really well at taking their opportunities at the moment, and unfortunately, that means that some people have to miss out. And but when they're coming on and using their opportunity as well, they're doing really well as well. So I'm glad I'm not the manager and I don't have to make those decisions. But we all sort of challenge each other in training, and we're making sure that whoever's starting is really putting it in, because we know that we've got people hungry on the bench that can come in and do just as good a job when called upon, or whether we start. So yes, it's a really competitive squad.
Just looking at the table again, obviously, like I say, you're playing Stoke, who are clearly one of the good sides. So this is going to be a game where you are really going to have to be at it, and you can't drop your standards at all if you're going to win this one.
Yeah, we know we need to be focused. We've been analysing them this week and sort of know what their strengths are and where their weaknesses are, and that's down to us as players to translate that on the pitch. But yeah, they're in a really good run of form. I think you look, they've won 7 out of their 10 games, so they're going to be a tough test, probably the toughest that we've had in a while. So yeah, we're certainly not going in there taking it lightly. We're certainly going there to try and win the game, but we know that it's going to be a really tough test for us.
The other game I wanted to ask you about is the FA Cup game against a team called Long Itchington, which I've never heard of, and I feel like it's a made-up place. But the FA Cup, I know, like I say, you made a final, you came out on the wrong side of it, unfortunately. So is the FA Cup still a big priority for you? And do you think maybe you look at it and think, well, maybe we could have one really good run in it this year with the quality in our team, even if we are going to be underdogs in a few of these ties?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be in it for as long as possible. I've played in 2 FA Cup finals and lost 2 FA Cup finals, so I wouldn't mind getting to another one with Forest. But of course, you look at the opposition and the teams that will come into it in 3rd and 4th round. It's there's going to be some big teams in there, so we just have to make sure that we get through against Long Itchington first. I believe they're the lowest ranked team in it, so it's great for them. Hopefully it'll be a great occasion for them, but we know what the FA Cup does, and everyone loves an underdog, so we just need to make sure that we're not the team that kind of falls beyond that. And then if we become the underdog in a fixture, we have to hope that we're the ones that can cause the upset. So I think we'll focus on getting through that first, but of course as a club we'd love to have a good FA Cup run. I think it helps in terms of keeping yourself focused for league games as well. The more games we get, the better. But yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Excellent. Let me ask you one other random question then. I've asked you about pizzas. Did you have to, when you signed for Forest, like in the men's team, do you have to do initiation songs and all that kind of stuff?
No, we didn't actually, which I was really surprised at and quite glad as well. I had to do one at my previous club. So I was thinking, should I do the same one or should I do something else? And I think because there was just so many players that it just never happened. So thankfully for everyone else, they were spared my singing.
What was the song? Just out of curiosity.
What did I sing? Crazy in Love by Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Was it one of the things when you mentioned that? I mean, you did have a load of new signings. Is it a challenge to, get chemistry, get team spirit? It's different to if you've been there, this group for this was the second season together. Is that a challenge or not?
I think with football, you become used to adapting to new players coming in and a lot of change and, different types of people coming in. And I think sometimes it's harder for players that are already here and then having a high turnover of players coming in, because it's almost like it's your club that you've created, and then a lot of players are going out and a lot of players are coming in. But, all the players that were here previously made us feel so welcome, settled us into the club really well. And then we've tried to do the same. And then, in the end, I think I felt like I was in late, but there's probably like 5 or 6 players joined after I joined. So then you're almost like, I'm one of the older ones, and now I've got to help people settle in. So no, like the girls have been brilliant and understanding. And, it's not easy when, like a whole lot of new players come in, because players are coming here to play as well. They're not coming here to sit on the bench, and so we have to really challenge each other like that. But we all know that we're here for the same reason, and we've all got each other's backs, and we're all here to help each other. So no, it's been really easy to slot in.
Excellent. We shall leave it there. But if you've enjoyed this, do us a favour, hit like, hit subscribe. You can become a channel member, sign up for Patreon, and give us a lovely review on iTunes and Spotify. Kate, thank you very much for your time, especially straight after training. Hopefully you enjoyed that.
I did, yeah, thank you.
I mean, you couldn't really say no there, could you? Even if you
No, exactly. I was crossing my fingers.
Right. We shall be back on Saturday with an episode about what it's like to be a Forest fan, recorded at the Fulham game, and then we shall look ahead to the Arsenal game on Monday. But enjoy the international break. Have a good few days, everyone, and we shall see you soon.